I think there's a tendency for people to look up to the likes of, I don't know, Steve Jobs or Elon Musk or, Bill Gates or so on. And, I have a bit of an issue with this. And the reason why is because there is a perception that to be a great CEO or to be a great entrepreneur, you have to be ruthless, you have to be really harsh, you have to be rude, and not a nice person, frankly. There's also this idea that in order to be successful, you've got to be what is called a rock star CEO. And actually, the people that inspire me are people most people have never heard of. So for example, Iman, he told me he's born, he grew up in the 90s. It kind of makes me feel a little bit old. I was born in 1977, so I've got a few more years on him. So there's some people that, maybe a lot of people haven't heard of. People like, for example, George Kane, CEO of Abbott Labs, which is one of the largest pharmaceutical firms. He built that firm himself. He destroyed the nepotism that was contained in that company. He even sacked his nephews to build a company that is enduring. Louis Gessner of IBM, who repositioned IBM when it was in a failing market. Coleman Mockler, CEO of Gillette from 1975 to 1991. You probably wouldn't have heard of any of these guys, but Coleman Mockler could have made something like $100 million back in the 70s if he sold his company to Revlon, but he refused because he wanted to do what was right for Gillette and refused the aggressive takeover, even though he would have personally made a lot of money. Very humble guy, very quiet, but built an enduring company. And this is one of the, one of the insights you get when you start on this journey is actually there's so many people you've never heard of when you look beyond the surface. And the person that inspired me the most is actually Warren Buffett. This is a guy that still drives the same car, still lives in the same apartment. Is more concerned about his staff and more concerned about his shareholders than either about himself. Very rarely wants to talk about himself. Looks at failure as part of a journey, praises other people for their success, and is one of the best man motivators there is. So for me, that's the kind of person I look for. And I'd like people to look away from some of the examples that are given because I think it's too daunting and it's just not realistic.